was 1.99, now just 79 cent. And 1 kilo of carrots was 99 cent, now only 49 cent. And get up to €10 worth of savings vouchers every week with the Lidl Plus app. Lidl, more big savings for you.
Welcome back. The main news tonight. Special schools will reopen on Thursday week, and classes in mainstream schools for pupils with special needs will reopen the following Monday after an agreement was reached between the Department of Education and the INTO and Forsa unions. Senior ministers have been meeting this evening to discuss the wider reopening of schools and options for holding the Leaving Cert. 28-year-old man has been sentenced to life in prison for the murder of a boy in the south of the country. The 11-year-old boy cannot be named because of a provision in the Children Act which forbids the identification of child victims. His mother has asked people to remember him for the kind and loving child he was and not for the evil act which killed him.
Well, returning to our main story and that Cabinet subcommittee meeting on education that was held a little earlier to decide on Leaving Cert options, reopening schools and getting schools back open for those with special educational needs, where we're joined from Leinster House now by Norma Foley, the Minister for Education. Minister, thanks indeed for joining us on 6-1 this evening. Now, you've announced that on February the 11th, schools for those with special needs, special schools, will reopen. You already announced that they would reopen on the 11th of January. That didn't happen. Then it was announced they'd reopen on the 21st of January. That didn't happen. Can you tell those students with special needs and their families for sure that they will be reopened next Thursday?
Well, Katrina, I suppose in the first instance, I would very much so like to welcome the announcement by both Forsa and the INTO this evening and their agreement, which they have announced publicly, for the reopening of our special schools, as you have indicated, on Thursday, the 11th of February. We have 124 special schools accommodating 8,000 students and special classes to reopen on Monday, the 22nd of February. Catering for 7,000 students. So I welcome that endorsement and that support by the INTO and Forsa this evening, and I have no reason to doubt their bona fides when they both collectively and individually make that announcement.
You can appreciate, Minister, though, that we've been here before and families have heard these promises and these announcements before. Can you guarantee that everything is in place, the PPE, the special provisions for teachers who have special needs themselves or who might be pregnant, or is everything in order there?
Yes, as you would be aware, there has been extensive and ongoing engagement with all of the partners in education, in this instance with Forsa and the INTO, over a long number of weeks now throughout the month of January. And many of the provisions that you have referenced there were actually agreed to some time ago and indeed added to over the last while. So these were the particular concerns and issues that were raised in early January and confirmed some time ago with the INTO and Forsa, and indeed, as I say, have been added to. So I believe all of the concerns that they have raised have been addressed. And as I say, I absolutely accept their good intention with their announcement this evening to support the reopening of our special schools and special classes.
OK, so if you're confident that that will all happen and Monday the 22nd of February will see the special classes in mainstream schools reopen, the next sort of group on the priority list were Leaving Cert students. So can they expect to be back in the classroom shortly after the 22nd of February?
Well, I think, to be fair, what we are looking at in terms of the whole school is a phased returning, and it was always the intention that children with additional needs would be the first phase in that return to school, and so we are now engaging even more so and continuing our engagement to facilitate a greater return of the wider body of students, and that involves engagement, of course, with the partners in education, and of course it'll be on the back of public health advice. So today
can you offer clarity, Minister, though? I mean, you've started to put dates down here that you've just said you're very confident can be held to. These negotiations have been ongoing. Much of the issues are the same. Parents, families, students are looking for clarity. When will they be able to go back to school?
Well, I think, to be fair, Katrina, we are living in the midst of a pandemic, and when schools were stood down, they were stood down simply on the basis that the mobility of 1.1 million people in the current environment was too much, and therefore the wider population was stood down with the recognition that there could be accommodation for a phased return. And indeed, I believe I even heard Professor Philip Nolan indicate yesterday again that we are now in a space where we can look towards a very definite phased return. And the phased return does involve, as I say, the first step with our children with additional needs, and we move on from that.
Professor Nolan, as you mentioned, did actually say we could be at that place by the end of February, but you can't give us that date now. Now, we don't have a lot of time this evening, Minister, so if I can just move on
well,
to
if I could just clarify in relation to that, Katrina, I think it would be foolish to give a specific date, because what we have achieved today has been as a consequence of engagement, and also, as I say, on the back of public health advice, and equally so there will have to continue to be engagement and public health advice in terms of, a full and phased reopening.
And I understand you are meeting the teaching unions and the various parties about that tomorrow afternoon. But just on the Leaving Cert exam itself, again, students are looking for clarity. These are the fifth years who were disrupted last year. They're now in sixth year, facing into their oral exams, which should be on in March, April, various other practical elements for the Leaving Cert applied, and they have no idea what is going to happen for them. When can you tell them that?
Well, I do appreciate, Katrina, how very, very difficult it is for the class of 2021, if you like, and indeed not just for the students, but indeed for their families. And,
But can you give them a date, Minister?
Well,
they know you're concerned, everyone is concerned about these things, but they want a date, they want clarity.
Yes, indeed. And I suppose really when you look at other jurisdictions, Katrina, there has been immense clarity about what different jurisdictions are not doing in terms of not doing exams. But there's very little clarity in terms of what exactly they are going to do going forward. So
but Minister,
I think we should be in a much better...
about our own jurisdiction,
Absolutely.
our own Leaving Cert in this issue. So when will they have that clarity?
So if I could just continue and say to you, I think we need to be in a much better space where we do make announcements, where we can be very clear as regards what exactly we're doing going forward. And
so
it is for that reason.
Have you a broad time frame for that announcement?
It is for that reason that there has been intense discussion in terms of Leaving Cert 2021 with the advisory committee since November. Right through, there has been engagement today. There was a subcommittee meeting of Cabinet discussing the issue. There's an advisory committee meeting tomorrow. There will be further engagement through the advisory committee throughout the week, and we are looking towards making a full announcement in a shorter time space as possible. I want it to be as complete as possible so that students will know exactly what what pathway is being projected forward.
They are all eagerly awaiting, I'm sure, on that announcement in, as you say, a short time space. Minister Norma Foley, thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Katrina.
Ryanair has said it may lose close to €1 billion in its current financial year as a result of the COVID-19 crisis. However, Chief Executive Michael O'Leary has predicted a strong return to growth in the second half of this year, provided vaccines are rolled out quickly.
New COVID strains, border closures and increased quarantining, the final 3 months of 2020 were torrid for airlines, including Ryanair. Over the period, it carried 78% fewer passengers than a year earlier, recording a loss of over €300 million, and now expects a total loss of almost €1 billion for the financial year ending in March. But CEO Michael O'Leary is bullish about the summer, predicting once people are vaccinated, restrictions will fall, unleashing pent-up demand.
Lockdowns will not get rid of the coronavirus. The WHO tell us that. Vaccines are the way out of this coronavirus, and NEFIT and the government need to get their finger out and accelerate the vaccine programme.
Analysts agree an aviation recovery is coming and that consumers should benefit.
What you'll see is that prices are kept low to stimulate demand, but going from load factors from 70 to 80 to 85% is a huge driver to returns to profitability, and that's what the airlines are targeting.
Mr O'Leary said he expects a strong recovery to take place at both Dublin and Shannon airports, but he said that the return to growth at Cork could be delayed because of what he described as the high cost of operations there.
The Ryanair CEO also defended the airline's ads encouraging people to book holidays now by using the slogan jab and go, an approach criticised by the chief medical officer. And he claimed everyone who has requested a refund following cancelled flights has received one, something travel agents dispute.
There are 200 travel agents in the south of Ireland. I would imagine 75% of them are still owed money. And we're doing a tot today with this controversy, and it's approximately about 20 million.
In response, Ryanair said it hasn't dealt with travel agents for 20 years and individuals seeking a refund can apply for it on the Ryanair website. Will Goodbody, RTE News.
While the airline industry is hoping international travel will be back in business by the summer, many people are wondering if it will be another year for holidaying at home. Fáilte Ireland has announced details of a funding programme to support tourism businesses that have been struggling to survive. Well, Sharon Tobin joins us now from a popular tourist attraction, Christchurch Cathedral in Dublin. Sharon.
That's right, David. I'm here at Christchurch Cathedral in Dublin, which is one of the top tourist attractions in the country. But of course, it's closed at the moment because of COVID restrictions. And it's seen a dramatic fall off in the number of tourists that have been here this year. Now, the government and public health officials are optimistic that come May, June, July, things will be better in this country and we will be able to do more. Does that mean we'll have a summer as normal? Well, probably not, but it does give some hope that we will have a summer, albeit at home. Well, here to talk to me on the first day of spring about summer is Paul Kelly, the CEO of Fáilte Ireland, and Suzanne Reid from Christchurch Cathedral. Paul, if I could ask you first, are there any guarantees that we will be able to staycation this summer?
Absolutely not, unfortunately. Obviously, public health comes first. And therefore, businesses can only open up when it's safe to do so, when the government says it is safe to do so. So, look, but we are hopeful, obviously, that we will have a domestic tourism season this summer, and people will be able to get out and enjoy Ireland again. And it's really important that we're ready for that and prepared for that. And that was what we were doing today at our industry conference for Fáilte Ireland. Was we were unveiling our plans to both help businesses survive across the next couple of months until some kind of business can get going again.
So should people book their holidays, or are they at risk of losing their money if they do that now?
Well, I think people are really beginning to book the holidays now here in Ireland. Are beginning to look at things and beginning to research. Certainly, that's been fed back to us as the people are now really beginning to look at that. I think the industry are well set up in terms of the flexibility they're offering people. So the vast majority of people in the industry are offering full flexibility, and if COVID restrictions come in, then in terms of bookings can be cancelled, refunds will be given, etc. So I would certainly say in terms of for people to look at all the great options that there are for summer holiday here in Ireland.
And one of them is, Suzanne Reid, the possibility of visiting places like Christchurch Cathedral. Now, your footfall was down considerably. You rely on international tourism, don't you?
Yes, that's right, Sharon. And normally we would see around 270,000 paying visitors here at the cathedral, and last year we saw less than 2% of that. Again, over 98% of our visitors don't come from the island of Ireland. So last year we really didn't see very much visitation at all.
And how important is that tourism income to maintain a beautiful building like this, which is 1,000 years old?
Well, tourism and events are the main revenue streams for the cathedral. So, for example, I would say last August, when thankfully the colleagues in the Wild Atlantic Way were enjoying a boon time in July and August, Dublin was dead. So for the month of August we would have seen less revenue for the month than we normally see in a day, and with the utilities and the fixed costs here we were really struggling. Now today I attended the seminar webinar that was given by Paul and his colleagues in Fáilte Ireland, and we were really encouraged to hear of the grants and supports that are in the pipeline for organisations, non-for-profit organisations such as Christchurch.
Well, Suzanne, thanks indeed for joining us, and Paul Kelly, thanks for speaking to us too. So as you heard there, well, tourism businesses have been told that they may rely on the domestic market this year because that's probably where most of their income will be coming from. David.
Thanks very much, Sharon.
COVID-19 and the various restrictions have had a huge impact on the numbers of unemployed people here. Figures just published show that there are now 480,000 people receiving the pandemic unemployment payment, and for many it's nearly 12 months since they last worked.
I've never been unemployed for this long in my life. The adjustment is challenging at times, definitely, yeah, in terms of my mental health.
Aidan Kavanagh hasn't worked since the pandemic began. A DJ, when all of his gigs were cancelled, he moved back in with his mother to look after her and to save on bills. Financially, it's precarious, he says.
I had to get root canal treatment done on my teeth there a few months ago. That was if a cost like that comes in, if something unexpected comes in, obviously it's going to be a challenge to manage.
And it's not just the income he misses, it's the social aspect of the job too.
The thing I miss is just meeting people, seeing people, having that kind of physical contact with people.
I walk the dog, I do all the washing. It's trying to find things to do to keep your mind busy. But like that, it's just trying to find things to fill your day because you're not used to having all this free time.
Hairdresser Natasha Rogers has been unemployed on and off since March. She and her boyfriend were saving to buy a house. That, though, has been put off.
It's so hard financially because you're living week to week. You're taking a hit in your wages. You're not being able to save for your future. You're not being able to work towards getting your own house, getting a mortgage. It's kind of just living and renting for now.
I love the job. You know, it's not a job. I just come in and enjoy cooking every day, and I miss it so much.
In Waterford, David Alsbury's family has been hit hard financially from COVID. Both him and his wife are chefs. Both are on the PUP. Money is tight, plans postponed.
We're planning on building a house, so that's gone out the window now at this stage, you know. Trying to pay rent, keep on top of gas bills, electricity bills, it's been difficult. You can't plan for the future.
Just 3 stories from the ranks of the COVID unemployed. There are many more like them. Conor Hunt, RTE News.
Now, still to come, springing into life, leaving winter behind and welcoming a new season.
And in sports news, we hear from Rory McIlroy after what was an eventful final round at the Farmers Insurance Open. And the wood from the trees, how an Irish cross-country skier is standing out on the slopes.
All I want is someone to rub my hair like.
I'm not a damsel in distress, like.
Irish men have got the best asses ever.
This is my time to shine.
I'd love to bake for a man. I'd love to cook him dinner.
That's it, you're ready. I want to get in there.
We'll wait till later to figure that one out. Cheers.
It's a really long table.
Brand new First Dates starts February 11th on RTE2 and RTE Player.
It's not the way it looks in the instructions, Harold. I think that's B2. Where's A5? Not your left, my left. This makes no sense. Go clockwise.
What's the clock?
Let's give it a go then.
Time for a break. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
After the nighttime feed, your baby's tummy expands. But as they sleep, their belly contracts, which can make some ordinary nappies gap and leak. It's time for Pampers Pants, with 360 Fit that flexes to their shape, helping to prevent gaps and leaks for a peaceful night's sleep. Love the bellies. One Pampers equals one dry night.
For reliable, efficient and affordable home heating appliances, trust Grant to heat your home. Think heating, think Grant. Visit grant.eu.
The Sky sale is now on, so get award-winning Sky TV and ultra-fast broadband.
Well, that's nice.
Together from an incredible €50 a month.
I think you've got exactly what we need.
Enjoy our best ever Wi-Fi and stream all the TV you love in one place. Easy.
The whole world is in your grasp.
Save big with Sky TV and ultra-fast broadband from just €50 a month for 12 months. Search Sky 50.
Whatever you watch, if you have a TV, you must have a TV licence. It's the law. That's just one of the terms and conditions of life in Ireland. So get yours at tvlicence.ie or at any post office. This message is brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
This isn't us.
The message is clear. This is
staying away from everyone.
play their part.
Keeping our distance as we walk by.
Saying yes to rules and following them.
Impacting communities around our...
This isn't us. Except this is us.
Because we are doing this for us, for everyone.
This is us. Us at our best. Our most decent.
Knowing what we have to do and doing it.
Knowing that we're not there yet, but that we will get through.
Because, well, this is us.
Hold firm.
We all dream of drifting off to sleep quickly and enjoying a full night's sleep. Try Nighto One a Night, our clinically proven sleep aid that helps you drift off to sleep. Ask your pharmacist about how Nighto One a Night can help get your natural sleep pattern back on track. Say good nighto and wake up feeling refreshed.
Welcome back. The main news this evening. Special schools are set to reopen on Thursday week after an agreement was reached between the Department of Education and the INTO and Forsa unions. Meanwhile, senior ministers have concluded a meeting this evening on the wider reopening of schools and options for holding this year's Leaving Cert. A 28-year-old man has been sentenced to life for the stabbing to death of an 11-year-old boy in the south of the country. Under a provision of the Children Act, the boy cannot be identified. His mother has appealed to the Minister for Justice to change the law to allow her son to be remembered for the loving and kind child that he was.
Now, some of us find Monday mornings a bit of a trial, especially at the moment. But one 10-year-old boy from County Limerick is spreading much-needed motivation and positivity with his weekly podcast series, which has proven a hit worldwide.
Hi, I'm Padraig, and I present the Monday Motivation Podcast.
And I'm Brian, I'm his dad.
Padraig is a 10-year-old with Down syndrome from Knockany in County Limerick who enjoys all the things 10-year-olds typically enjoy. But most of all, he loves to get up on a Monday morning to deliver his motivational podcast on how to stay positive.
My advice today is not to be hard on yourself for making a mistake. You can't learn anything for being perfect.
Padraig's podcasts are published weekly on EcoStraw Ireland's social media platforms. It's his dad's business, but this is all about positivity, not product.
I do a bit of work with Special Olympics Ireland and Down Syndrome Ireland, and their positive mental attitude is very, very important. So that's how we came up with the 60-second Monday motivation podcast. I suppose it's been hard for kids during lockdown, and we found it was a way, number one, I guess, of keeping him entertained, keeping him out of trouble. And I got to spend some time with him.
Padraig's podcasts of positivity now attract a worldwide audience.
We've had messages of support from all over the world, quite literally America, Australia.
I think they feel very happy and excited to see me.
So what is Padraig's top tip for staying safe but also upbeat?
Just stay at home and keep busy and cut the grass or something outside.
So remember Padraig's advice. Keep busy, cut the grass and try to stay positive.
Cheers.
Eleanor Mannion, RTE News.
That's good advice. Now, any positivity in the sports news? Here's Eamon.
Yeah, let's hope so. The GAA's COVID advisory group are currently meeting to discuss the ongoing impact of the pandemic on the association. The beginning of the new season, of course, has already been put back with no definite start date as of yet. The draws for the 2021 championship seasons have also been postponed for a number of weeks. Rory McIlroy came up short in his bid to win the Farmers Insurance Open on the PGA Tour last night. He began the day 3 shots off the lead but finished with a final round 73 that left him on 6 under par, 8 shots behind the winner Patrick Reed. The American closed with a 68 to win by 5. Both players found themselves in the spotlight for taking a free drop during Saturday's third round.
If a ball bounces up and comes to rest in a pitch mark or in a lie that's not the pitch mark that it made, then of course it's very hard for it to be embedded. But I feel the way my ball was definitely in its own pitch mark. It had to be, that was why I was so confident to take relief and do what I did.
Now, Ireland's first ever competitor at World Cup cross-country skiing is enjoying his best season yet. Thomas Maloney Westgard, who was born in Norway but has strong links to County Galway, has improved his results at the elite level. Making a name for himself.
Maloney Westgard, well, his pathway is on the up, isn't it?
This 25-year-old has boldly gone where no Irishman has gone before, competing in cross-country skiing at a World Cup level.
I mean, it's huge for me getting the opportunity to represent Ireland. And yeah, I'm the only one competing at this level for Ireland. But even though we are a small cross-country and small winter sport nation, I will do my best to get Ireland up there and to keep working and to keep progressing.
Maloney Westgard has represented Ireland at the Winter Olympics in 2018. His ultimate ambition is to be among the medals at next year's Games. But first he has to challenge this lot at the World Championships in Germany.
In the start I had struggled to come top 50, but Yeah, this season I got my first top 10, so it's for sure going forward, and I'm still working to progress myself.
Born in Norway, Maloney Westgard has been representing Ireland at this elite level for 4 years. Some in the West already awake to his exploits.
So my mom is from a small village called Dunmore in County Galway. It's probably more known for footballers than cross-country skiers. But yeah, that's the place where my relatives are based, and they have been absolutely fantastic supporting me. They have been traveling around to different events such as the Olympics and World Championships, so it's been fantastic.
Thomas Maloney Westgard, and good luck to him. And it is, of course, January transfer deadline day, and Republic of Ireland's Troy Parrott has joined Ipswich Town on loan after his spell at Millwall was cut short. That's your sports news for now, so it's back to you again, Katrina.
Thanks, Eamon. Well, it's the 1st of February, St Bridget's Day, and a day recognised by many as the start of spring. Despite the inclement weather, farmers are reporting a very busy lambing season, and many are preparing to return to the garden.
At St Bridget's Well near Kildare town this afternoon, there was a constant flow of visitors. Most of the locals here on their annual pilgrimage, seeking inspiration and hope.
And today, because of the day that's in it, I brought all our sicknesses, the old tradition, where I dipped the cloths in the water and hang them on the tree.
Start of spring, new turnover, new month.
Yeah, it's great now, and hopefully everything else will start getting more positive. So that's what we're looking forward to. And the summer coming in and a bit more freedom.
In the garden, there's also a sign of some new life today. And for the Brigidine sisters in Kildare, perhaps a message from their patron.
She certainly was a trailblazer for female leadership in Ireland at that time. You know, just look at them, the tiny little flowers. They're the first flowers to appear across the Irish landscape. And I think there's a lesson for it for us now today, you know, during this time of pandemic, you know, that just as they were able to come through the harsh and difficult ground, we too will come through this pandemic.
The arrival of spring is also important for one other key sector in Irish life, farming. The lambing season is now well underway, and despite the weather, the trade is good.
You know, at the quoted prices there at the moment are 6.20 to 6.30, and I'd say with a bigger producer group you probably get them into 6.40. So prices are going well at the moment, but like farmers all the time we like more.
Finding more spring-like weather may not be so easy this week, but the experts admit, even here, there's a shift in the seasons.
Yeah, so the last 2 years we've had milder than average temperatures in February, and we have noticed that the signs of spring have started earlier in the last couple of decades.
Ciara Maluli, RTE News, Kildare.
Now, before we go, look at the main news again. Thousands of pupils with special needs are set to return to school from Thursday week after an agreement was reached between the Department of Education and the INTO and Forsa unions on the reopening of special schools. Senior ministers also met for several hours this evening to discuss the wider reopening of schools and options for holding the Leaving Cert.
And you can keep up to date with that story and plenty more on the RTE News app. Well, that is the 6-1 News this Monday. From all the team, thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow, but until then, goodbye and do take care.
Lads. Oh, thank you. I will.
Enjoy the great taste and nutritional benefits of Avonmore lactose-free milk.
Good evening. Well, it's going to be an unsettled week of weather ahead with spells of rain and showers too. And it does look like it's going to get cold again towards the end of the week. Now, rain is going to push up across the country this evening and tonight. Yellow rainfall warning coming into effect at 8 p.m. for northwestern counties. That's continuing out throughout tomorrow as well, because the rain tonight will be followed by very frequent and heavy showers through tomorrow. So at the moment, Ireland is obscured with cloud. We have a low pressure system out to the west at the moment. That is going to push rain up across the country through this evening and tonight, and it will be heavy with some localised flooding. A risk of some sleet and hill snow in North Ulster too. So then for tomorrow, Tuesday, rain and sleet clearing away to the northeast. Widespread heavy showers across the country then, with the risk of some isolated thunderstorms and hail too. Then on Wednesday, the southeast starting off dry with a bit of sunshine, but rain in the west and the north will become more widespread as the day goes on. And then on Thursday, it's going to be a breezy and showery day as well, turning more persistent in northern areas. So at the moment there is a band of heavy rain across Munster, and through this evening and tonight that is going to move northeastwards across the country, so there will be some spot flooding in places, slight risk of sleet and snow in North Ulster too. That will be followed by scattered showers. Now, low temperatures tonight ranging from a cold 2 degrees to a milder 9 degrees in the southwest, and winds will become fresh too, with gales developing in northern sea areas tonight. Now, tomorrow morning, rain and sleet gradually clearing from the northeast, followed by very frequent showers. Some of those will be heavy, with some isolated thunder and hail too. Top temperatures tomorrow ranging between 5 degrees and 11 degrees with fresh winds. That's all for now. Good evening.
Enjoy the great taste and nutritional benefits of Avonmore lactose-free milk.
Insurance quotes.
Tell me about it.
With questions more complex than honours maths. And language so alien they were quite possibly written by one. At On Post Insurance, we're here to fix all that. With online quotes a regular person can understand. Sure. Help as standard if you're ever in a pinch.
I'm in a pinch.
Really?
And humans who speak plain English.
Well, let's get you sorted, Frank.
For insurance that's simple, easy and a little more human, talk to us today.
It's match day. And sometimes things don't go your way. But William Hill gives you the freedom to choose by giving you the rules of the game. Now take the field. Take control. Set your deposit limits. Take a break. Own your game, so you'll always